Hello and welcome back to another video. So today is June 29th, 2025 when I'm recording this, and today we got news that Republican Senator Thom Tillis of North Carolina is retiring, and this is very important because his seat is up for re-election in the 2026 midterms, and North Carolina is expected to be a battleground state in the midterms. This is a state that Trump won by 3.2% in 2024 and about 1.3% back in 2020. And with the midterms coming up, this is a huge seat for the Republicans to defend. Now, the Democrats are going to have a hard time flipping back the Senate in 2026 because of how hard the map is. But if they want to have any shot at even getting close to flipping back the Senate, North Carolina, they have to win it. It's a must-win seat. So back to Thom Tillis. Why is he retiring? Well, basically, what happened was, as you all probably know, Trump's signature bill during his second term, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, the Republicans are currently trying to pass that through Congress, and that bill does include huge cuts to Medicaid. And Thom Tillis essentially said that he would vote against the bill due to the Medicaid cuts. And Trump came out saying that he would be meeting with people to find a primary challenger to Thom Tillis. And this isn't anything new. For years now, Thom Tillis, on certain issues, he's been voting against Trump, and as a result, the further right wing of the Republican Party has threatened to primary Tillis. Now, looking at some of Tillis's electoral history, he was first elected back in 2014. He defeated incumbent Democratic Senator Kay Hagan by 1.6 points in a red wave year, and then in 2020 he was reelected by 1.7 points, and he slightly outperformed Trump. Trump won North Carolina in 2020 by 1.3 points, and it looked like Tillis was going to lose to Democratic State Senator Cal Cunningham, but then Cunningham had his affair was exposed late into the election cycle, and that was a big scandal, and there's a good chance that cost him that seat. But Tillis did end up winning re-election, and now obviously in 2026 that seat is going to be up for re-election. Now, looking at the presidential race back in 2024, this will load. I'm not sure that it will. But essentially, Trump did win North Carolina by 3.2%. And so it is a slightly red state. The last time it voted for a Democrat on the federal level was back in 2008 when it voted for Barack Obama by a very narrow margin. It was less than a percentage point. And then in 2008, they also elected a Democratic Senator, Kay Hagan, but since then they haven't elected a Democrat to the U.S. Senate, nor have they voted for a Democrat for president. But on the state level, things have been a lot different. In 2016, Roy Cooper was elected as governor, and he beat the incumbent Republican governor, Pat McCrory, by a very narrow margin. And then in 2020, Roy Cooper was reelected, and he won by about 4.5 points. And both times Trump was on the ballot, yet Cooper still won. Specifically in 2020, even though Trump won by 1.3%, Cooper still won by 4.5 points. So that's definitely a respectable performance by Roy Cooper, very solid. And in 2024, Democrats won North Carolina's governorship in a landslide by 15 points against a pretty terrible candidate in Mark Robinson. So this tells us that although on the federal level, North Carolina is a lean red state, it's definitely still winnable. Now, looking to the 2026 election here in North Carolina, Now that we know that Thom Tillis is not going to run for re-election, the Republicans have a few options. Some names have been floated, including Pat Harrigan. He is a freshman, first-term Republican congressman from North Carolina's 10th district. You've got Richard Hudson. He is the chair of the House Republicans campaign committee. And then you've got Tim Moore. He's also a freshman Republican congressman. And then you've got Congressman Greg Murphy. He's also been floated as a name. Another name that's been floated is Laura Trump. He is Donald Trump's daughter-in-law, and she was co-chair of the RNC. Now, if we look at the polling on this race, and we haven't had a lot, but there's been some limited polling. Thom Tillis, he was vulnerable to a primary challenge. Mark Robinson, he was their former lieutenant governor, ran for governor in 2024. He lost very badly. He was down by 7 points against Thom Tillis. But when the candidate is changed to someone else, Thom Tillis loses by 5 points. Now, Thom Tillis versus Laura Trump, he was getting obliterated in this poll. Now, this is from back in November, and it's just one poll, but an incumbent senator polling at 11% in his own party's primary, that is not good whatsoever. So I think Laura Trump is a possibility, and there's been talk that she may run. We don't know yet, and I imagine she'd probably get Trump's endorsement if she did run, seeing that she's his daughter-in-law. Now, on the Democratic side, we've really got two main potential candidates. So Congressman Wiley Nickel, he was elected in 2022, and then North Carolina's Republicans had mid-decade redistricting. They drew out his district, but he's already declared that he's going to run for this seat. Now, former Governor Roy Cooper, who I mentioned earlier, it's looking pretty likely that he is going to run for this seat, and a source close to Roy Cooper came out today and said that Tillis dropping out of the race will not influence Cooper's decision. So I do think Roy Cooper is pretty likely to run for the U.S. Senate race here. And keep in mind, the last time that North Carolina had a Senate race up in a true blue wave year was in 2008. Normally, Democrats have gotten pretty unlucky with when these seats have been up, so they haven't really been able to win Senate seats here, but this is a perfect chance for the Democrats to get a win here to put them closer to 51 Senate seats. And if we take here at split tickets, wins above replacement database, what it shows is that in 2020, Thom Tillis performed 3.2 points below replacement. So what does that mean? A generic Republican candidate, considering the situation of the 2020 Senate race, they should have performed 3.2 points better than Tillis did, but he did 3 points worse than he probably should have. So Tillis really is not a very strong candidate. However, looking at some of his potential replacements in the Republican primary, Pat Harrigan isn't very good either. And then if we look at Murphy, who could also run on the Republican side, Greg Murphy, he is not a very good candidate either. D+2, R plus 1.7, he's basically a wash as well. So although the Republicans do have a lot of potential candidates, neither of them seem to be particularly strong. But on the Democratic side, we could look at Wiley Nickel. He had a WAR score of D+5, meaning he outperformed the fundamentals by 5 points. So I think Wiley Nickel could definitely be a strong candidate, but I think the best possible candidate for the Democrats in this race would be former Democratic Governor Roy Cooper. He has a consistent history of overperforming, and I think if the Democrats want to put all of their chips into this race, Roy Cooper gives them the best possible chance to win. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you did. Turn on post notifications so you don't miss a future upload. Please be sure to comment, and I'll see you all in the next video.